Welcome to Video Game Flash Fiction, a writing game that takes place in the next 90 minutes. A writing game to be able to see if I can write an intellectual property-free flash fiction story inspired by one of these video games. The video game console today will be the Atari 2600. To be able to find out what game we're going to play, I first need to start this time, as well as roll 2 dice. And these 2 dice will be rolled to decide the column and then the row, and then find out what video game we'll be playing for the next 90 minutes and writing a story based upon it. Here's our 6-sided dice for the 6 columns. We got 1 to 6. We have 1, so the far column over here. We have a 10-sided dice for 10 rows from bottom to top. 8. Okay, whatever. I don't think this has the label. What is this one? Oh my. For today's video game flash fiction game, we have one called Strategy X. Made by Konami. Interesting. I only know Konami very well from the Nintendo Entertainment System games. And it seems like this has no suggestion for what kind of paddle controller to use. I'm going to assume it's the joystick. Let's slot it in. Oh no. Where are we at here, Mr. Atari Gamer? Let's not genderize the game, I suppose. These have been tested at least once to be able to work, but not played. So I'm hoping this will work again. Uh-oh. Well, this is not good. All right. Well, even though time's ticking, we're going to have to deal with the rolling of this. Oh, my. And let's give it a quick clean. I'll talk through this. There's a little bit of alcohol, rum it on the connectors, and sometimes this helps out and works. Very rarely have I had to actually choose a different game. It's happened before, though. If this doesn't work, we got to roll with it. Such is dealing with technology that's, well, some of it's older than I am. And I am not a young person. All right, a little bit of alcohol on those connectors. Let's see, Strategy X, do me something good. All right, Konami, show me you can. Oh, yeah. There we go. Wow, that's quite the noise. It sounds like an improvement on a combat sound for a tank. Let's go ahead and play this game. Let's get inspired by a story. Unfortunately, it seems like today's story is going to be a little bit dystopian. I don't know what's going on. Oh my gosh. I should get a bigger screen going so I could see something. Oh boy, and there's really annoying sounds going on. How do I roll? What the fuck? That's it? Okay. I'm gonna... Okay. Wow, it's like you always have to go forward. Oh my heck. This is... Yeah, you're always moving. Wow. Can I go angle? Whoa. Like I can't stop. Like I have to go forward. Okay. This is kind of painful. Can I go over grass? I don't know. Like I'm just getting killed. Wow. Strategy X. Yeah, Strategy X. I'm not sure what the strategy behind this game really is, besides don't stop moving and you might blow up, likely. All right, so let's try to play this again. All right, so I like the beginning sounds. I can hear them. Let's blow up this wall. Is that... Why would I want to? Why do I need to, I guess? Why would I want to go this way? Oh, I see. So if you hit the grass, you slow down and thus open yourself up for bullets that are going to come and hit you. I don't know what I just blew up, but that felt good. All right, that felt good too. I don't know what that sound is. Am I running out of fuel? I must be running out of fuel or something. Is this like River Raid and I have to shoot something in order to get fuel? I'm dead. That was, yeah, Strategy X. I don't really have quite a strategy for this game yet other than shoot. And don't go this way. I think that's what those things... Oh, let's run that bullet. Maybe my strategy is just to avoid everything. Let's not be violent. Let's just drive, yo. So I think I'm running out of fuel now. If I blow up, I must get refuel. Oh, shoot, I'm on the grass. So much for a tank being a good off-terrain vehicle. Oh, if I push back, I actually will stop. I think. I at least did for a moment there. But you have to like hard thrust it back. It's not like it's natural movement. What if I just don't hit controls? What happens here? And move forward. If I hit all the way back, I'm thrusting back now. No. Whew. This is hard to create a strategy from. And you always seem to like default pointing forward. I mean, if I let go of the joystick, I just point forward. If I go left and let go of the joystick, I port forward again. Point forward. I probably said port forward. I didn't mean to say that. I meant to say point. Wow, I don't know. What kind of game could this be besides going and killing things? I guess I've avoided the dystopian for some time. Today is that dystopian day where we have a... Oh, man, war. Strategy X. Strategy X is to create the ultimate war machine. Maybe it's about overfunding of the Defense Department or the military. Okay, so now I'm running out of gas. I don't know what that really means as a player. I mean, I understand that what that would mean as a tank. Okay, go, go, go. Come on, grass. This is loud and obtrusive and... Oh, come on. This is a lame strategy. That's all I have to say. Die. I feel like, I don't know. I don't know how I feel right now. I feel... I don't know if I feel inspired yet. I mean, let's be honest. This game, it's going to be about a tank. I feel like it's going to be about a tank that's ran over budget for its creation. Ooh, you can outrun bullets, so that's kind of impressive. Maybe it's just super fast, but... Oh, I'm dominating now. Maybe it's super fast, but the problem with it being super fast is it never stops. It always has to be like in an idle position. And it's so fast that it runs out of bullets, but then they put it on the training field and then they find out its flaws. What am I supposed to shoot to not have that sound occur? Are these the things? Oh, maybe not. Oh, geez. Come on. Just don't drive it on grass. It slows it down to half speed. Oh, what about these trees? Oh, they stick you. Oh, man, come on. That's all I'm going to say today is come on. I'm going to be angry at this game the entire time. Let's just set this little thing aside right here. And let's try to maybe write something. Maybe be inspired. Maybe not. And then we're going to play the game again. I'll create the file. Hopefully I write the word strategy right. I don't have much of a strategy for this story. I got an hour and 20 minutes left for that strategy. This is the game. Let's figure it out. This is going to be fun. Strategy? I suppose strategy. Strategy. No, okay, I probably want to. Well, That's what it looks. Strategy. Okay, strategy underscore x dot txt. There we are. Strategy X. I don't know. I have no idea. You're in a tank. You're in a tank that you're not going to get too far. I'm not going to be able to get too far today. I'll play the game when I think of some story to get re-inspired for some details. For now, I need to figure out what the Strategy X is. Why does Strategy X? Strategy X, I guess, would be like your experiment, right? I mean, they've always liked the X. Ooh, the variable. Who knows? Such a lame label that's been put across the world in the last couple of years. Part of X. The random variable that changes. Strategy X, I guess, is part of that. Could we throw it in? Maybe that's it. Maybe this is Strategy X is a defense, is a contractor. Tech company. Do I want to include AI? No, let's not include AI. Let's just include the fact that they needed to make it super fast. And maybe their AI model said it can't stop. It can outrun bullets, but it can also always has to be moving. So Strategy X. Strategy X is going to be the company name. What's the conflict here? It doesn't work and you're trying to sell it to the government. Well, if they buy it anyway, that's not conflict. That's just how it goes. You want to get money from the government as a contractor, especially a Defense Department contractor. You just need a good story, likely. And from what I've understood, you just got to pay people off. Delivering is the second most important thing. Delivering quality is the third. Strategy. I don't know why I want to keep on spelling strategy like that. Strategy X. The Defense Department. Contractor. The Department of Defense contractor. That way I can give it some case of defense contractor. Strategy X. Strategy X won the bid to build the new hyper stealth tank. For the United States government. Let's just lowercase that G. Okay, so then maybe that's an idea. It'd be a quick one. I don't know if I don't know. War, boy, that's fun to write about. Haven't done that this week. No, I have. But I suppose it's kind of hard to. Let's see. Could I put this game? Let's play it again. I'm gonna see if I can put this game in more of a. Really get inspired by something and make it not about a tank. Okay, so if this wasn't about a tank, if I were to play this game, just because I have history with the Atari 2600, I would automatically identify that thing as a tank. It looks like the tanks that are in the game Combat. So I'm not necessarily believing. Oh, shoot. Like, I wish I could. No. Man, I'm dominating now. But as soon as I see. Okay, so I must get. I must get additional fuel by shooting things. So somehow I need to include that because, unlike game like River Raid, also Atari 2600 version, where you fly over the fuel tanks in order to fuel yourself, it seems in order to gain fuel here, you just shoot things and your energy automatically goes up. So maybe it's also the next generation. Like, how does that... Ooh, see, I can sort of stop until the screen tells me I can't anymore. It's got long-range cannons, and it can outrun bullets. Like, that's its selling point. And they deliver on that, but I think they probably just, like, any sort of contract or cut corners in order to profit. And so they didn't really concern themselves. Never said that had to stop, I think. I think that's how maybe we'll start it, is they're going over the fact that it doesn't stop, and the contractor arguing that, well, it was never a requirement. You said fast, and it could fuel itself from the shock waves of the explosions from cannons. I don't know exactly how that works. I'll just say, hey, science fiction, fudge you, man. Hey, I made it further. Slowly but surely, I'm getting to the point to where I feel like I can dominate on this game. Just kidding. I can't. What I can do, though, is let's continue this story. I think I've got some sort of concept or idea where this could go. I think it just, do I want to, I got to demonstrate components of the game, and it's definitely inspiring this story. I wouldn't have wrote this story if I had not put in Strategy X into this game and seen its sights and sounds. I have no idea what the true story is behind it. This is the real story. This is the story that, at least my version of it, which won't rely upon ever playing this game to actually enjoy. That's my hopes and dreams. I could just change the name so there's something else if necessary. So Strategy X, this is fun. Oh man, I don't know. Like, I'm just trying to think of this, like, how does this end now? Maybe we should just see where it goes. So the defense contractor Strategy X wins the bid. I like the present tense. This is a video game, so let's keep with the present tense. So let's say wins the bid, and that way we can just build upon it and get to the end. Much like the video game, you don't tell this video game is not past tense. You have to be in present to play. Another good reason to use present tense for some of these inspired stories. I don't know. This is so not flowing. I'm still liking the use of defense contractor. I think that's what it's going to be as far as what's making this thing go live. But I'm not certain if I'm going to have it like as I'm already setting it up and writing it. Ooh, there it just blew up. See, I don't stop moving. I think that's the story right there, is why this tank doesn't stop moving. The defense contractor Strategy X wins the bid to build the new hyper-stealth tank from the United States government. Strategy X and the government agree upon features. Where's this? I'm going to just treat this like it's some sort of, not software product. I'm more familiar with the software product and its development. But we're going to just, it's got features. Strategy X in the United States government agree upon the features required to complete the creation of the new hyper stealth tank. Hyper stealth tank. I don't know. The United States government agree upon the features required to complete the creation of the new hyper stealth tank. I think that works out. Strategy X and the United States government agree upon features required to complete. Nah, man, I don't know why I'm reading the sentence again like it's going to make it any better or any less bad. Well, I wanted to include what those features were. I think long-range shooting, and it can outrun bullets, as well as it's got 3. So we'll use that literary rule of 3, whatever that means in this day and age. In America, usually it's like you have 3 things. God, how did that ever happen? Strategy X. these little tropes that literary canons use, or literary devices in different languages and different cultures that have a significance to me, is it's sometimes confusing. But let's use one of those. So Strategy X and the United States government agreed upon the features. What are the features? What do we call it? Like auto energy, shockwave, blah, blah, blah. Before the CEO of Strategy X signs the contract. Yeah. He reads aloud the features. She reads aloud the features. Super speed? Like, I don't know. Like, so far, it's really loud. I mean, this is not stealthy. So that's one of the features. It's loud, and it doesn't stop moving. So those are the drawbacks. And the bullets, you can only shoot one bullet at a time. So they're going to want all these special things, and they don't get them. I think that's where I want to go with this today, just to show. Yeah. Before the CEO Strategy X signs the contract, she reads aloud the features, the required features, the 3 required features. Long range cannon, hyperdrive, super speed. How about something silly like super speed? Long range cannon, super speed, and energy. Energy, because I imagine the way that they get it, because it's weird. I'm going to try to write this into the story with some, fictiony science stuff. Just do a lot of hand waving, and maybe they'll pay attention to the fact that it seems really weird. I just got to think of the right name to be able to frame it. I can have the CEO reread the feature requirement and ask a couple questions. Then they build it, and then they get on the battlefield, and there's the big argument about what they have to do to be able to achieve the long-range cannon. But it goes so long range, has a long load time. So long-range cannon, I'm just going to write out so I understand where I got to write to. Long-range cannon has a slow load time. That will account for the fact that when you shoot a cannon in this game, it goes into the screen. I don't think you can shoot multiple at the same time. So let's go ahead and check that out and see. Let me rerun this and see how long I can live. I like, the beginning's kind of fun. I don't know if that sound's coming through. Oh, no, you can rapid fire. Okay. No, you can't. Like, there's only one per screen until it stops. How do you write that in? Like, I can't fire until it leaves the screen or until it blows something up. And then oh, fudge you. Did I run out of fuel? What the hell? Come on, push it. You're going slow, screen. Can I go back? I can't. I can stall the screen for a moment, but that's about it. I always have to go forward. And so the bullets, I can't explain the fact that there's this long delay, so maybe I shouldn't. Now I'm going to go on the 2 features. Those two features are super speed and being able to get energy from explosive shock waves. I don't know how that works out. But it's going to work out for the day. And I think the way that I'll have it work out is try to define it. Write it into the story. That's how I'll have it work out. That's that's a great advice. If you want it to work out in the story, write it in the story and make it work. Super speed and energy. Do we have? Yes, we have the super speed and energy absorption. Shockwave energy. Shockwave. I don't know. Like, I have no idea right now. Shockwave something. Super speed and shockwave. Before the CEO of Strategy X signs the contract, she reads aloud the three required features: super speed and what shockwave panels and shockwave. I'm just shockwave panels. So they can't stop with the super speed, and the shockwave panels is that they always have to shoot something in order to get energy. They have no other means for energy source and it makes a loud sound, I think. So the shockwave convert the blast shock waves into energy to move the tank that doesn't stop but creates a loud sound. Okay. All right, we have a little over an hour left. I think I at least have a story to begin. I don't know if it's going to be a great story, but who knows? Let's go ahead and write it. Based upon this game called Strategy X. Again, let's talk about the Defense Department spending over budget, and we'll say these features. Okay, so super speed and shockwave panels. During the handshake. Okay. I want to write in that they run out of budget. I'm trying to think of the timeline right now of how this is going to go, because I'm starting off where they sign the contract, so we at least have to be delivered in a year later. That way, we have the mumbling. We at least have some sort of idea of when there should be a timeline and why there isn't a timeline, and what does that look like for this business. A year later, that's kind of the joke. We're going to just skip ahead, and they're still working on the super speed and the shockwave panels. The loud rumbling tank, or maybe they meet all the features within a year, and then they do the test, and it's just a disappointment. I think that's the route I'll go right here. Ooh, let's get some greens in there. Let's hear that sound. Let's hear the motor of that tank that just keeps moving. Just go like this and see how far I can go. What if I go? I like the angles. Oh, see, I'm outrunning bullets right there. What gives me frickin' fuel? That's what I don't get. It seems like if I shoot things, I get fuel, but it's not like River Raid. It's not obvious to me what I have. It doesn't have this big thing called fuel that I know I have to either drive over or stop, blow up. There's a wall. For some reason, there's walls. All right, so we got an hour left. Come on. Focus on the game. Focus on the story. A year later, the loud rumbling of the Strategy X tank. Shook through the earmuffs, earplugs, of the audience invited in the government, on the government, in the DOD audience, and board members of Strategy X. I don't know why I want to put that G in strategy really bad. I just want to be able to recreate the word itself for some reason today. Maybe I'm feeling egotistical. I think I'm just feeling sloppy. Where's my mind with Strategy X here? Strategy X. Strategy. Board member Strategy X. This is the X tank. The CEO stands. A year later, a loud rumbling of Strategy X tank shakes through the earplugs of the DOD audience. And you can have something like this. Shakes. The CEO stands and she points to the battle, to the mock battlefield where the X-Tank idles. Today we embark into the future of ground combat and heavy artillery to take out the enemy and win the war against them. She raises her arm to point at the idling tank. I want to be able to get that sound of, I got the tank sound, but that starting sound. This will be like through the speakers. Trumpets play. Louder than the tank's coarse rumble. All right, so I have something here. Trumpets. How many trumplets do you have? Let's get rid of that L so we can actually have a word that I think means trumpets. I want the speakers, and through the speakers, trumpets play louder than the tank and chorus. And the tank rolls along the mock bat, along the grassy, well, it'll be more like the dirt and grass mock battlefield. All right. All the things that don't happen. They couldn't normally fuel the thing. So you have to use shock waves. You can, I don't know, then how does the fuel, yeah, I don't know. I gotta write the story so I can know what is this game? Like, let's go shoot a thing. That can explain just about 50% of the games that exist. And that are sports. Maybe some fun fantasy game, but I feel like shooting stuff's important in games these days and always has been. Let's try to make this simplistic shooting stuff into somewhat of an interesting story to make it a little bit more about the label of society and how we shoot at things. And make games about shooting at things. And then try to reason how to make them into a flash fiction story to mock the Department of Defense. And how the corporate rip-off and military-industrial complex is really, runs the world in ways. It gives people the ego and ability, the feeling that they can just roll into another country and kill people because they've got more of it, and it's true. I mean, it's proven time and again. Through the speakers, trumpets play louder than the tanks rumble, course rumble. And the CEO says real loud, let's get ready to rumble. The tank rumbles along the dirt and grass mock battlefield. Along the battlefield. So we got to show what the battlefield is, like along the battlefield. Man. I might be jacked with too much caffeine right now, a little too much coffee, but that's okay. It's going to help me at least get through this right here and figure out the story and write it out in the next 54 minutes. I'm there. I'm close, but I'm still a little bit, I don't know. It feels... it feels like I'm writing a story about killing machines. Which I am. I mean, let's not go away from it, but you know, they exist. Might as well just at least point to the people who rip off a lot of money and give out mediocre killing machine. Am I really mocking the fact that we create killing machines here? Is that we're foolish enough to be able to trust people to create a good killing machine? I guess a little bit of both. Unfortunately, there'll probably be people that read this and just say, hey, I could do that killing machine better on budget, unlike Strategy X. And their takeaway for the story would be different than mine, of course, and that's okay. If I could even inspire that type of thought, I think that would be fun. Maybe the person who is working for the Department of Defense and taking billions of dollars to be able to create killing machines will realize that maybe they could be spent on something else. But then they probably get overwhelmed with the fact that once they actually try to think about changing their own company strategy, investing in the killing machines, that other companies won't. And they'll just pick up the money and create the killing machines to get the money and then play politics and control the world through their corporate natures. I'd love to be able to get into that, and that's what I hope to show and tell through this simple story that needs to be written in 53 minutes and read at the end. My gosh. I don't know. Let's see. So along the battlefield, we got to define this battlefield. I'm going to reset this game again. There's a wall for some reason. Along the battlefield, walls and turrets rise from the... I don't want to say rise, because I do, like, I guess... Like, I want to give the object the walls and turrets. Now I got to verb them in order to make this a proper sentence, because I like complete sentences. They help people see. See the words and that metaphorical sign of see, what not means sight, but that inner sight, that third eye sight of see. I'm trying to get a verb. Along the battle walls. Now I have battle walls. Now I'm going to have to develop battle walls into the story. We want battlefield. Along the battlefield. No, let's go this. I got this better. Let's verb the walls and turrets. Brick. What are those walls they usually use? Like the cylinder. Not cylinder. I forgot the proper name for them. We'll just say cement, concrete. I can't remember. Is it concrete or cement? Concrete, or is it? And it's important. One's a mixture, one's a process, or one's. Let's see. Hold on. I gotta look this up through the search and return engine real quick. I think I want concrete. Is that right? Concrete. Okay, so concrete is a mixture of paste and aggregate, but what do I do? I want the best words. Or cement. Okay, so cement, you mix it with cement to be able to bind. To be able to make concrete, it has to have cement. Concrete is a mixture of paste and aggregates. The paste composed of Portland cement and water. coats the surface in fine, coarse aggregates, creates the chemical. So I want concrete. Cement is the thing that binds everything else. And the composed, it's called Portland cement in this definition of concrete of cement.org. Okay, so that's, the Portland Cement Association. Wow. Who knew? There's a Portland cement. Let's not get sidetracked. I know what word I want to use. I want to use concrete. So it's concrete walls. I probably spelled that wrong. Still, concrete walls and turrets, metal turrets, stand on the field, on the long field before the slowly moving tank. Okay. So there are no moving objects at this time. I'm assuming they would do the tests, right? Maybe they're only testing the two features. And they're going to have a long argument about the contract at the end. I'm going to make this really exciting. We're going to have this story be about a contract dispute at the end. And so we're going to write what was seen and heard, and then wrap it around something that at least I can understand as a story. And it can still at least make me feel like in these next 48 minutes, because I should sip my coffee and stop talking and write. If I truly want to have a decent debate, to get this flash fiction story done within that time. So there's something that's read that doesn't sound real bad. I want the sounds again, so let's reset that. I should capture these somehow and be able to better send the audio through this stream someday when time and life allows, and probably when I get distracted and trying to finish the story. Concrete walls and metal turrets stand on the field before the slowly moving tank. The field of the dirt and grass field. So let's continue to kind of highlight what kind of field: dirt and grass, and it slows in the grass. It can only hyper speed over hard dirt. The hard dirt. That's right. That's better. Hard dirt and like coarse and tall grass fields before the slowly moving tank. The slowly moving tank fires. I don't get energy when I shoot a wall, so I'm going to have that as a bug. But I do shoot energy when I hit a turret, and I think the reason why you don't get the shockwave energy when you hit the wall because there's no internal explosion, and it's not enough force, so that'll be like a fault of these energy panels on these tanks. That is how I'm going to explain the fact that I think when I shoot one of these things, I get energy, or I'm able to live longer. Or I don't understand that mechanic right yet. Again, I have some instructions. I just don't read them, no matter the game, anyway. And some of these I've played before, so it'd be easier for me to probably concoct a story, because anytime I played these games when I was younger, I was always concocting some sort of story to be able to make it a little bit more interesting at times. But then again, my mind was much simpler back then, as it was more free of information. Yeah. So the slow tank. Let's just see the slow tank. The slow tank rolls towards, or does it hover? Maybe this is like some internal combustion. No, it's not a combustion engine. It's a electric engine that's able to be powered by the force that gets translated into some sort of electricity. I don't know. It vibrates something and creates static. I don't need to invent it. I just need to be able to BS it enough to fictionalize it. Try to make it nonfiction as much as possible, then create the lie that maybe will make it feel like, in the moment of suspension of disbelief, a real thing. I mean, people have been inspired to create rockets off of science fiction as well as probably helping people, or at least fictionalize the concept of what AI could even achieve before it was even created. It's fascinating. Shout out to fiction. That's why it's video game flash fiction and not video game non-fiction. So the tank slowly rolls toward the concrete wall. And I'm going to have comments each time this thing fails. That way I don't have to have like a summary. I should have the CEO sit down next to the Department of Defense. I don't know like the pecking order, the chain of command in the Department of Defense. It would be the Defense Secretary. Right? I'm just going to say that it is. I don't want to start reading it and then just go into some deep dive of government at this time, further than I already am, but I just don't need that tangent. To get this way too dystopian for me. Through the speaker, trumpets play louder than the tank's coarse rumble as the CEO shout, "Let's get ready to rumble." The CEO sits. The CEO sits next to "Let's go ready to rumble." I just had a weird side thought that I need to say out loud so I remember it. I'm trying to be able to illustrate this story I'm writing called "I Am in Your Walk the Scary Trail to the Beautiful Waterfall." And I have a conflict with cash because I want a good artist and illustrator, but I don't want to have to pay a lot of money because I don't have a lot of money, but they deserve a lot of money. So I've been trying to sort of shape things all myself these days, and now I finally realize I probably should just use Ed Emberley's inspiration and draw them like Ed Emberley. I'm going to do that. Anyway, I said that out loud. Hopefully I remember it. I know it's going to be recorded inside of this text. I think it's important. Side tangent from this story, but that's what happens when you write. Sometimes your mind slips and you think of other writings. That just happened. Let's focus on this story because I need the CEO to sit down next to the Department of Defense. The Secretary of Defense. Secretary of Defense. The Secretary. I don't know how. Of Defense. And says, "She's a beauty. She's a beauty. It's a beauty. I want a comment. The Secretary of Defense is going to say something. Secretary. I'm going to say, if I'm going to write out Secretary every single time, I don't know. I mean, Defense Secretary. That way I can at least get the of, and that's something that's said too. Defense Secretary. I need to get my nose away from that mic because it keeps tickling. My breath reflects off it. It feels awkward. Habit. The CEO sits next to the Defense Secretary. The Defense Secretary, let's give them agency. By letting them at least talk a little bit. Says, I've only seen clips. The clips I've seen are impressive. We have met all the features. And I can just have the initialism. Maybe the DOD, DODS, the DS, the DS. Maybe I can. Yeah, I mean, that would also fit. I like that. If I'm going to go ahead and use initials, an initialism for CEO, I can use an initialism for the defense secretary as well, like DS. Just if I start writing it out a lot, which I might not. We'll see what happens. That might get a little too confusing, a little bit too governmenty. But I mean, the government loves their initialisms and loves even more their acronyms, so. We have met all the features, nods the CEO. The tank rumbles along the dirt and grass. Okay, so I'm going to have each of those features be expressed, succeed in some way, but fail in others. And then there's going to be the mention of being over budget, I think. We gotta have the war machine, actually cost more because it always does. It's hard to fine-tune killing unless you have good, data. I think is important, and test subjects, I suppose. Yeah. Concrete walls and middle turrets stand on the hard dirt and tall grass fields before the slowly moving tank. The slowly moving tank rolls toward the concrete walls and fires a shell, a slug. A slug? A slug. What are they going to shoot? They don't shoot a shell. The slow tank rolls toward the concrete wall and fires a slug. I don't know. I'm going to call it a slug. Fires a round. I don't want to define the type of. I don't want to call it like a plasma rocket. That's not. My mind's going there for some reason because I've gone a little science fiction-y in some of these parts, and now I'm starting to think it's plasma. No, I'm just going to say a round for now. It's generalized. People understand what that is. A round that hits and explodes a section of the concrete wall. What time is it? 37 minutes left. I got to write more. And I can talk, but it's going to be about what I'm writing. Section of the wall. The defense secretary. I'll use the S, the C version. Defense secretary. Clear his throat. What would that expression be? Sneers. Gain from the shock wave of the explosion. And what does that mean? CEO. What kind of facial expression? I want to give these people facial expressions to be able to express in ways very quickly. Goggles? Like open your eyes. Wait for the turret. Not enough force. From concrete. Reflects. Wait for the turret. So they'll succeed. Maybe not. Maybe I guess they do succeed. I mean, I guess if you can at least pass it off as a bug. The defense secretary, I mean, that's still an impressive feat. So that's negotiating. And maybe that's going to be how this ends after the tank will do their things. The defense secretary it can outrun bullets on hard dirt and cement and concrete. So let's just take that. It can outrun bullets on hard dirt and concrete, but slows in grass. And yeah, I mean, grass and weeds. So that would be what the CEO says in reply. And so now I have to have the action and show it. I'm going to follow up the energy thing, because one of the first things you do, the next thing you do can shoot a turret. In this case, it does shoot that turret. Now, is it a red turret? I don't know. I got to find out. Let's go play this real quick. So here's the wall going down. And I don't know. Do I get energy back? I don't feel I do. And then how do I show that it can't stop? It's a blue turret. All right. Well, I know what it looks like. I got it right. As much as I kind of want to shoot one of those blue turrets, I'm going to run into one maybe. Or it's going to shoot me. Hey, I ran into one. Maybe that's how it ends. You run into a turret. But for this, the turret, I think that's how it's spelled. If not, I gotta write more than try to start editing. Shooting the turret will get the energy, so it'll complete that sort of conversation that will then lead into being able to outrun a bullet, which it will then do. I think is what's going to happen is it's going to hit the grass and won't be able to outrun the bullet and get hit soon after. So I can end it soon. I got 33 minutes left, and that way I don't have to get into a lot of action. I don't know if, let's not go there. I want it to outrun one bullet, maybe shoot a couple turrets, not outrun another bullet because it goes over the grass. And so that would be the ending dialogue right here. Shockwave energy panels convert the shockwave to energy to move. Oh, that's a note. It travels faster than bullets on hard dirt and concrete, but slows. So that's I think it's because it did start out with that as a business transaction, the game itself won't end it, but an action in the game will. What I want this end dialogue likely to be is this: it travels faster than bullets on hard dirt and concrete, but slows in grass and weeds. A bug. And they'll say something like a feature. I mean, that's a very famous kind of tropey thing to write, but part of the feature. Negotiated a bug. I gotta be able to have one like a bug. I want to write the end, just so I can write to it. So seems like a bug. So it travels faster than bullets on hard dirt and concrete, but slows in grass and weeds. And so this will be the CEO. I'll have, hopefully by now, if I can write, or hopefully during edit, because I'm sure they both talk differently in some ways. I got to make sure that this dialogue doesn't seem like the same person talking. It's the same person writing right now, but given time and not reading this for months, I can come back and hopefully make this dialogue better. If it sucks now, which it kind of probably does. The feature as defined in the contract. as defined in the contract. I don't know, man. I just end it there. I don't want like some intrigue dialogue and blah blah. I don't know. I was just gonna add more dialogue. I don't think it's needed. At least right, yeah. Let's at least write to this end and see if it even is an end. I'm uncertain of it right now. It's something. An end to this inspired strategy X game. I don't think so. I don't know. We gotta get the features. What is it doing? There was no energy to Google. There was not enough force from the concrete. Wait for the blue turret. Let's call out the color. Our X blue turret. Oh, hey, wait, hold on. I got this. It's like the same broker. Yes. I see here now. Wait for R. That's all I need. RX blue turret. Oh, the one China Russia uses. Just combine them into one. Show that this defense this contractor also sells arms to whatever enemy. I'm not going to call out United States here to the commies. To the commies. There would be more specific. The ones you sold. It'd have to be a government. You're not going to buy turrets if you're a terrorist organization. That's just not worth your time. You need the land and the, just Russia, China, Russia, sold to the enemy. It'll be a barb, a bite. I'm just going to say it. Let's capitalize it still. I'm going to use the S, I guess. Once you sold the enemy, says the defense secretary. The ones we sold to our once ally. I think that's all I could do. I don't need to name countries. Let's not go there. No sense in it. Not today, at least. Not that I haven't. But let's not tie this in with our own dystopia and get truly fascinated and fixated on the idea of war. Strategy X. Now, I got it as a company name, but I feel, I don't know, the Strategy X blue turret. I'm not certain. I'm not certain I've used the name well enough in this story yet. Nor do I have a story. I only have 26 minutes left to be able to. All right, so the ones you sold in, the ones you sold are our allies. Now let's get back to the game. The slow tank rolls over the hard dirt between the tall grass and the still standing sections of the concrete wall. Two blue X blue turrets swivel and aim. Barrel at, what am I even calling this tank? Strategy X tank. X tank. X tank. X tank. Okay. This is like X blue turret. Just because it's blue. This is the only tank they have right now. So they don't need to have any sort of additional modifiers. They don't have any lines of these tanks. They're seeing if they want to expand the money to get into tanks. This is a test. 2 X blue turret swivel and aim the barrels at the X tank. 2 blue turrets swivel and aim barrels at the X tank. Okay, so I'll show the shot on 1. Did the blue turrets even fire anything? I don't know if they even fire anything. I got 24 minutes left. I just want to see if these things fire. I mean, I like the game. Oh, it does. Okay. Okay, so I can destroy this one, and then that one I'll outrun the bullet. Boom. To show the super speed. I wonder if I run into something like I don't know. All right, I have words I want to write. I want to finish the story. I mean, I like the game. I just wish I knew about the fuel, and probably if I don't know if I have I don't have the instructions to this game. I mean, I don't have the instructions to most of the games. But I'm sure it's online somewhere, and maybe someday I'll look it up, and maybe someday I'll understand how this fuel works in this game, because it seems to be run out, or whatever energy propels the tank. In this case, it's a battery that gets recharged to shockwave, and only shockwave. It's a feature. So 2 blue, and maybe that's what happens. It runs out of energy. But swivels and aims the barrel of the tank. X tank. Let's change this. X tank. Rotates and aims and fires round at the nearest X blue turret. I mean, a little bit of repetition, but it's a simple battlefield. And I don't know how to spell turret right now. Turret. I should know. I feel bad for not. So X tank rotates and aims and fires around the nearest blue turret. The X blue turret explodes. And the shockwave hits, and the X tank absorbs the motion and alters the energy to power and energize the battery of the tank, the X tank. Absorbs the motion. Words that just, what is that even? What is motion and alters, not alters energy. Alters energy. Man, where's words today? Empower to energize. I'm just saying that's going to be a word right now. The battery of the X tank. Energize. Nods the defense secretary. That's why I don't have to have dialogue. It shows some sort of motion that tells the entire audience, including the CEO, that they're now like, wow, that's cool, without having to write too many words. So energizing, nods the defense secretary. Very good. and it explodes. I don't know if I'm going to put that into the story necessarily, but we'll see. It travels, okay, right here, and then it's going to show the other blue turret fires round at the X tank. X tank hyperspeeds. And drives away at the speed of a bullet and from the path and slows before a red turret with a green grass field next to it. Okay, and then the CEO says, right here, there we go. That way, and they'll just have the Defense Tech Secretary nod to show some agreement and not have to have lengthy dialogue. Okay, and then we'll have a destroy red turret. Does it not outrun the bullet? Or does it run out of energy? I mean, I feel like I've always died because of bullets when I was playing. At least that's my memory. So the story ends because I'm only at, I guess you got 3 shots, right? You got 3 lives. So I just call them like, you can get hit 3 times. Do I have time for 3 times? I have 18 minutes left. Let's throw it in there and nods. Let's go she. It says, how many X blue rounds can it, how many X blue rounds can it be hit by? 3. X tank destroys a red turret after X red turret fires. Oh, man, this is around at an angle at X tank. X tank rolls over grass to evade, but slows and drives in line and is hit by a round. Oh man, this is just words. Yeah. Wait. That's slow. Okay, so let's use that, but that's not the end. So I gotta have it get hit. I got 14 minutes. I got 14 minutes. 14 minutes. Let's just push the words, and hopefully this reads period. As defined in the contract. I'm not even going to put CEO at that point. The X tank rolls and does not stop moving forward. Oh shoot, that's right. Like a game mechanic, I don't know if I need to necessarily throw that in there strictly, but I got to have the not stopping one. The not stopping is running into the wall. So I got to have it fail for the energy. I have it had just failed for the slowness. Never stops. Reverting. Never stops. It always rolls. Wait. The hyper speed to not damage the mechanics like defined in the contract, says the CEO. The X-Tank rolls and rolls to a concrete wall. The X-Tank fires, and one shell misses, and it rolls into the wall and does not stop. It continues to roll, taking a hit. Why didn't it stop? Why does it not stop? Says the DES. Let's just do that right there. Okay. Let's backpaste this. Okay, so we have it has hit the wall. This displays the fact that it just doesn't stop. It doesn't stop and always goes towards the target. It only goes side to side and forward. It only goes side to side and forward. What would the CEO's facial expression be? I'm trying to express it on my face right now, like a scowl. Well, that'd be the whole word too. What time is it? I got 10 minutes left. Scowls again. I think that's like the second scowl, so it's at least a habitual facial expression. They've trained themselves to express, to speak in silent moments, with no follow-up words, because they realize also it is probably defined in the contract. So now the extinct rolls over grass to evade, but blah 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 blah, but slows in a line is hit by a round, but slows and only drives and can't reverse direction. and drives. Okay, and so it'll define the slowing and never stopping, and it'll have that. And the other quirky thing, because it's a feature of the game, is it cannot run bullets, but once you hit grass, it can't. If it hits a wall, it always has to go forward. And that's, yeah, okay. I think I've justified why it can't stop moving and always goes forward in some weird contract mechanics of the engine thing. The energy. So it's going to run out of energy. And it has no backup. Let's write that. I got 9 minutes to write that, and it's not that much to write, but I just need to get this done. My mind's spent right now. So X-Tank never stops to enable the hyperspeed and to not damage the mechanics like defined in the contract, says the CEO. It only goes side to side and forward. The secretary scowls. X-Tank's energy beepers. Energy. Let's just do it right here. Energy beep. Energy level beeps and calls out. Energy levels. Says the defense secretary. Is there another source? If there is not enough shock waves. No. That's the fun of the contract. Okay. The X-Tank stalls and idles and stops. That'd be game over. We'll use the energy, the literary rule of three, the supposed literary rule of three, at least in American literature. That's not, it is a cultural thing, and I'm sure it's stolen from someone else or inspired, let's call it. Let's get some sort of liquid like water. I got 6 minutes left. My mind's spent, and I still have to read this thing aloud. I'm going to turn this thing off. I think it's done. Done enough. I'm going to play this game one more time. And envision the two characters. All right, so there's like the wall, the first wall. Oh, see. Well, okay, so we played that way to die out. Not outrunning bullets or running into them like that. And now let's try to run out of energy. That might be difficult because I'm not like in the zone to actually play this game. My mind's in Storyland right now. And I shouldn't be shooting these things. I should be trying to outrun everything. Okay. And so here's the third sort of way to perish or not succeed unless you get hit. Yes. All right. I should read this aloud. That was fun. Strategy X. This was not a game I knew existed before purchasing it for this specific reason. I don't want visual block. I want control back, right? There we go. The hotkeys of Vim. At least we'll navigate these words around a little bit so I can read them aloud. That was Strategy X. That was fun. This, inspired by video game flash fiction. I have to always, there's some book out there named this. And there'll be more named this too. Strategy X will probably end up in one called War. That won't be out for another year probably. Whenever I say this though, at this point in time in life, sports will be coming out probably next month, and then work after that. Enough to be able to sell it at the retro gaming convention, both of the new ones. This one will get into War. I have that one planned, but I don't want to go there quite yet. But let's read this one aloud because, Strategy X, game about tanks, fun sounds. I don't know if this probably won't get picked up, but I'm going to at least listen to the starting sound of this game and the explosions. This is Strategy X, inspired by video game flash fiction. The Department of Defense contractor Strategy X wins the bid to build the new hyper stealth tank for the United States government. Strategy X and the United States government agree upon features required to complete the creation of the new hyper stealth tank. Before the CEO of Strategy X signs the contract, she reads aloud the required features, super speed, and shockwave panels to be delivered in a year. A year later, the loud rumbling of the Strategy X tank shakes through the earplugs of the DoD audience and the board members of Strategy X. The CEO stands and she points to a mock battlefield where the X-Tank idles. Today we embark into the future and ground combat and heavy artillery to take out enemies and win the war against them. She raises her arm and points at the idling tank. Through the speaker, trumpets play louder than the tank's coarse rumble as the CEO shouts, "Let's get ready to rumble." The CEO sits next to the defense secretary, and the defense secretary says, "The clips of the features I've seen are impressive." "We met all the features," nods the CEO. The tank rumbles along the dirt and grass mock battlefield. Concrete walls and metal turrets stand on the long, hard dirt and tall grass fields before the slowly moving tank. The slow tank rolls toward concrete walls and fires a round that hits and explodes a section of the wall. The defense secretary sneers, "There's no energy gain from the shockwave of the explosion." The CEO goggles, "Not enough force from concrete reflects. Wait for our X-blue turrets to explode." "Oh, the ones you sold the enemy," says the defense secretary. "The ones we sold to our once allies." The slow X-tank rolls over the hard dirt between the tall grass and the still standing sections of concrete wall. Two X-blue turrets swivel and aim barrels at the X-tank. X-tank rotates and aims and fires rounds at the X-blue turret. The X-blue turret explodes, and the shockwave hits, and the X-tank absorbs the motion, alters the energy to power, and energizes the battery of the X-tank. "Energizing," nods the defense secretary. "Very good." The other blue X-blue turret fires around at the X-tank. X-tank hyperspeeds and drives away at the speed of a bullet and from the path and slows before a red turret with a green grass growing next to it. The CEO says, "It travels faster than bullets on hard dirt and concrete, but slows in the grass and weeds." The defense secretary nods. She looks at the CEO and says, how many X-blue rounds can be hit by it?" 3. X-tank destroys an X-turret after the X-turret fires a round at an angle at X-tank. X-tank rolls forward over the grass to evade, but slows and turns only left and right and can't reverse direction and drives in line and is hit by a round. The defense secretary scowls. "That slow grass seems like a bug, as defined in the contract." The X-tank rolls and does not stop moving forward. The X-tank rolls the concrete wall, and the X-tank fires, and one shell misses, and it rolls into the wall and does not stop. It continues to roll, and it hits. "Why doesn't the X-tank stop?" says the DS. "The X-tank never stops to enable the hyperdrive speed to not damage the mechanics like defined in the contract," says the CEO. "It only goes side to side and forward." The defense secretary scowls. X-tank energy beeps and calls out. "Energy level," says the defense secretary. "Is there another energy source if not enough shockwaves?" "No, as defined in the contract." The X tank stalls and idles and stops. Well, that was a story. Strategy X. That was let's do the right git command to commit this to memory. Along with all the transcript and talk. Let's do this. Write and publish. By the game strategy. I'm going to spell this wrong, but that's life. Yep, that was a story. Let's turn this thing off. We'll put it in the stack of games for the war video game flash fiction coming next year, not this year. Sports, something, and work, I believe. That was fun. Until then, just do something else to create something. It's worth its time. It'll help you in other ways as well. And maybe sell all the data to AI one day and make money. Or help save you when the time's necessary. Make them want to keep you alive if you want to look at the war type of ideas. But let's not. Let's try to find our own utopias. Go create something.